It's June 19th, 1993, from the ECW Arena, the Super Summer Sizzler Show. That's a tongue twister. From the ECW Arena, a very early ECW show. And now, the opening of the video of this on the WWE Network, I never saw this video. I knew about it, but I never got to see the VHS tape release. It opens outside the arena with Jay Sully and founder Todd Gordon. Todd Gordon really acting. He's around the fans. I like how he acts like a fan. He's much more mature than other people that have try to run a promotion. He knew what he was doing running this company. He's really excited and act like a fan. He's acting like a fan, but he knew what he was doing running this company. I loved his opening by how he was really psyched about the matches. He was talking about Todd Gordon and Jay Sully opening outside the arena, and the first match of the night, the ECW TV champion Jimmy Snuka will defend against JT Smith. This is honestly one of JT Smith's better matches. It's not that long a match, but JT Smith, Jimmy Snuka worked a pretty good match. But Jimmy Snuka apparently is playing the heel role. He's one of the guys. He could be as popular in the WWF, but he can it doesn't matter if Snuka plays heel role, or it's among the guys, wrestlers or tag teams that will be cheered whether or not he plays a heel or face. It was a fairly good match. JT Smith working with Jimmy Snuka, and it was a fairly good opening wrestling match. Snuka, he was began working with JT's apparently JT had a leg injury, and he kept clipping it a couple times. I was wondering, Snuka's not really I've never known him to work with a leg injury, But he did, and then he also he surprised me with a pile driver on JT Smith. But he did, and then he did a backbreaker. He did a couple moves to get JT Smith ready for what Paulie Dangerous and Jay Sully were the announcers, and what Paulie Dangerous would call the coup de grace. Jimmy Snuka finishes JT Smith off with the Superfly Splash, and so Jimmy Snuka defeats JT Smith, retains the TV title. Next match of the night is a first blood match between Larry Winters and Tony Hitman Stetson. Now, I know these guys start back at the very early days of ECW. I'm not talking the years. I'm talking the very first shows of their 1992. And if I'm not mistaken, they also work for Joe Goodhart's Tri-State Wrestling Alliance, if I'm not mistaken. Because these I know are very early. These are the guys that really would transfer from the Tri-State Company over to ECW when Todd Gordon took collected a bunch of wrestlers when Tri-State folded up and went out of business, and he grabbed a bunch of guys to found ECW. So I'm pretty sure these guys are the early ones, the alumni of ECW, the early years. First blood match. Now, they said they were Larry Winters and Tony Stetson were a tag team. I did not look that up, but I know Tony Stetson had a long time feud with Johnny Hotbody, but Larry Winters and Tony Stetson, it was a vague kind of a brawl between them. It was okay for what it was. Tony Stetson removed the top turnbuckle, exposing a metal connection of the ropes, and kept trying to ram Larry Winters into the metal, and it was a lot more punching, and I'm sorry, these guys are no Dusty and Tully, and they were infamous for the first blood matches, and how the guys from Jim Crockett promotions would be Paulie Dangerously, and they kept saying, the announcers kept talking how Philadelphia wants blood. This match really didn't live up to its potential for a first blood match. It was a lot of punching back and forth. And then came out Rockin' Rebel, I know he was a an early ECW alumni. I'm not sure if he worked for the Tri-State Company. I'm not really sure, but Rockin' Rebel went a little bit interfere more at the at outside of the ropes, and I think he was after Larry Winters. Then it was a distraction where Tony Stetson took some kind of weapon. You couldn't even see the weapon. He clobbered Larry Winters, and the referee I'm sorry, I can't. I had to write down his name to remember. I know his. No, he went for several years. This referee went on for several years. I remember him into the later '90s. But he checked on Larry Winters, and immediately he threw his arms, immediately signaling for the bell. Larry Winters was bleeding because Tony Stenson had pulled something out of his trunks or whatever. It was a vague weapon we couldn't really see. You couldn't even see Larry Winters do the blade job. But when Larry Winters fought Tony Stenson and fought Rockin' Rebel off as a 2-on-1 attack, he fought him off. Even with the camera didn't really do a good close-up shot of Larry Winters. And then as he fought Rebel and Stetson off, he was wiping with his hand. He was kind of wiping his forehead off. It was a very vague display of the blood. He didn't really go overboard on bleeding. So it wasn't. I honestly wouldn't call it as much of a first blood match. No, really, it was a disappointment of a first blood match. But Tony Stetson did defeat Larry Winters using some kind of a foreign object. All right, next match of the night is a cat fight with Peaches, which is Sandman's valet and wife, versus Tigra. Tigra, woman named Terrible Tigra. Now, I'm glad that Jay Sully and Bully Dangerously were talking about the history of this match. I know first Dangerously was being smart mouth about how they were connected with Jay Sully, but then finally they told the story, because I wasn't sure how this match came about. With a grudge match. That Tigra was interfering on Sandman's matches and actually costed Sandman the ECW title to Don Morocco. Okay, it makes sense why this match would come about. And first with Peaches and Tigra, there was some slapping, hair pulling, typical of women fighting. Wasn't a wrestling match whatsoever. The point of the match was to rip their outer clothing off. That they had an overshirt and maybe stayed shorts on. It's summertime. Peaches did get it was Peaches and Tiger. They had like tank tops on. That's what got ripped off. And then Tiger she didn't fare much against Peaches. Then in comes Tiger twice her run off. Then in comes another woman, and when the camera they didn't mention who this woman was at first. I had to look up her actual name. When I was trying to look at her and turn it close up, who is that? Who is someone who backed up Tiger back into the ring? This woman approached, and I thought it was someone that it was someone at like later 93 or 94 that would. Give the ECW Arena a show. Her name was Kimona Wanalea. However, I was wrong. It was not Kimona. I had to look up the actual history of the show on the internet, and it was Angel. And I'm not sure how she's connected, who she's connected with. Then suddenly that Tigra and Peaches Tiger had some more clothing ripped off, a little bit more, and she took off. Then, I guess Peaches was vaguely declared the winner. Peaches was vaguely a winner. Then Peaches gets on the microphone. I think she was introducing Angel, but you really couldn't hear much of what Peaches was saying on the microphone. Then came in... Rockin' Rebel and Tony Stetson, they more attacked this Angel, and they ripped her top off completely nude. That's typical for what ECW would become extreme in about a couple of years. But then came Sandman. Oh man, he looked strange. It wasn't his. It was more. You know what? I know. A Sandman arrived with shorts and a tank top, but he had this blondish hair. His hair was weird. Oh my god! It looked more like Rockin' Rebel's haircut. He had a weird hair. Sandman had a weird hairdo. He came in kind of in Rescue Peaches and Angel, and Angel had her arms covered over her breast because she was totally realistically exposed. The beginning of this video actually said PG, that parental guidance, because there would be violence, nudity, language. This was going to be an extreme show before they became extreme. But Peaches did defeat Tigra, but she just took off. Where this Angel made sure to I think Angel had more removed from her, and she lost more clothing than either Peaches or Tigra. But apparently, Tigra took off for the second time. Peaches, I guess Peaches won the match, and it was a cat fight. It was called it was labeled a humiliation match. But Peaches apparently won the cat fight over Tigra. Fourth match of the night, ECW TV champion Jimmy Superfly Snuka, as he did defend the title earlier, and it was said in that first match he'd be defending it 2 times in this show. Jimmy Snuka now was managed by Paulie Dangerously, and he showed up at ringside. Terry Funk, the legendary hardcore extremist Terry Funk, he took over the commentating position for Paul while Terry Funk is working with Jay Sully commentating. TV champion Jimmy Snuka will defend against Tommy Cairo. And when Tommy Cairo approached, he's wearing his leather outfit, and that's something I never seen him wear before. And I stated that before when in the ECW TV pilot. But also he was wearing a title belt, and I really couldn't what title belt is he wearing. They did mention that Tommy Cairo won a battle royal just a few weeks before. It became the ECW Pennsylvania State Champion. Yeah, I remember historically he did win that title. I remember reading about that, hearing about that. Tommy Cairo, really great work with Jimmy Snuka. Tommy Cairo kind of dominated Jimmy Snuka. I guess Jimmy Snuka was really kind of vague, kind of worn from the match with the first match with JT Smith. Cairo looked really impressive. Some good drop kicks and martial arts, and he went toe to toe with Jimmy Snuka. It was a pretty good match, but it was concerning that he was dominating Jimmy Snuka pretty good, and even Paulie Dangerously, he was with his hands he was yelling and slapping the mat real hard. He was slapping the mat really hard. That Cairo was dominating Jimmy Snuka pretty good in this match. There's a match where Dangerously tripped Cairo. He tripped Cairo, and Jimmy Snuka quickly went to cover. He's gonna come this fast. Okay, Jimmy Snuka covers Tommy Cairo. Then Snuka puts his foot on a second rope, I think, and it was a quick cover. So I really call this a lousy ending to this match. It wasn't where Snuka could have done a lot more work with Cairo and lead up to a Superfly splash. No. Dangerously helped Snuka by tripping Cairo, and Snuka quickly covered Cairo and with his foot on a rope. It's a pinfall. It's an ending of a match I was honestly disappointed with. But Snuka defeated Tommy Cairo and remains TV champion. Next match of the night, Philadelphia Street Fight, the Sandman versus a Rockin' Rebel. And the only strange thing I found really looked weird, again, Sandman with that kind of strange looking hairdo is like a blondish hair with black underneath. I know, it just looks weird for me. The other thing that looked weird is I guess wearing sweatpants or some kind of pants of some kind. I can't tell between orange or yellow because of the video. or it's peach color, after his wife named Peaches. I don't know what the heck the color of that pants were, but it looks weird on him. But it was the Sandman was kicking Rockin' Rebel's ass, dominating the street fight. He did everything. He body slammed him on the concrete floor. Man, he took it to Rockin' Rebel over and over. He really dominated this match. Heck, even when the match started, Sandman rushed into the ring, and Rockin' Rebel had he was taking his shirt off, or Sandman had pulled his shirt over top of Rebel's head. Sandman kicked. Sandman shined for a long while. He really kicked Rockin' Rebel's ass in this match. He really did. The way they describe it, come as you are, no DQ. It sounded more the way they described it, more like a bunkhouse match. But from Philadelphia, they named it a Philadelphia street fight. There was a quick interference by Tony Hitman Stetson, but it didn't do much. Sandman quickly got rid of him with a vague DDT. Then came in Rockin' Rebel. Sandman went to do an off the top rope. I think a kick, or he was off the ropes, and Rebel grabbed referee Joe Finnegan, and Sandman clobbered Finnegan. No, it's a street fight, so it's not like he's going to get DQ'd for hitting a referee or referee in the way. Then came in a woman who I thought was Peaches very quickly, vaguely. It was not Peaches. Nobody could identify her at all. Terry Funk was like, who's this woman? Then they're vaguely saying that she's an associate of Peaches. I don't think so. Because then she went to apparently... looked like I didn't catch at first what she was doing. She was spraying something in Sandman's eyes. That was a vagueness of... Jimmy Garvin's Precious, who was always spraying fragrance in the ring when Jimmy Garvin always come in the ring. That's what it reminded me of. But she sprayed something into his eyes, and Rockin' Rebel Schoolboy rolled him up and grabbed a pinfall and Rockin' Rebel upsets Sandman in a street fight. It was disappointing. It was disappointing. Well, Sandman did, It was what it was. It wasn't really an attitude, and it was a brawl. That's all it really was. But Rebel steals a win over the Sandman in a Philadelphia street fight. Next match of the night is Dirty Dick Murdoch, the legend himself, versus Dark Patriot number 2. Now, Paulie Dangerously came in, and I really couldn't barely understand what Paul was either complaining or bragging about. Something about there's two Dark Patriots. Yes, there is two Dark Patriots. The first one actually is Doug Gilbert under the mask. The second one, it's pretty good. Big guy. He's a pretty good big guy. But Dick Murdoch, he went to grab Paul or shut him up, and Dark Patriot came in. Dark Patriot's a pretty good sized big guy, and he really went toe to toe with Dick Murdoch. The funniest moments, it wasn't the match itself. It's Terry Funk on commentary. Never before have I ever heard. No, Dick Murdoch. Another name for someone's named Dick is Richard. And Terry Funk was really putting over. He said, the old redneck himself. He was calling him Richard. I found that funny because Dusty Rhodes or nobody else has ever called Dick Murdoch Richard. It's funny hearing it that way. But he was calling the old boot himself, the old boot with holes. But Dark Patriot and Dick Murdoch, they went toe to toe with each other. It was a very interesting match, and I looking up the results, who was under the mask, I don't know until I do a little bit more research. It was a mystery guy, but he went toe to toe with Dick Murdoch. It was a fairly good match. Thing is, Dark Patriot went to body slam Dick Murdoch back into the ring, and Dick Murdoch small packaged him into a win. But it was not bad of a match, even for a special challenge and I wouldn't call it a grudge match. But I'm curious who this Dark Patriot number 2 was, because he was big enough to go toe to toe with the legend himself, Dick Murdoch. Okay, the next match tonight is a 6-man tag. Wildman Sal Balomo. I mean, he was a long time. He was originally a jobber at the WWF, but he became a mainstay in the ECW. Wildman Salvatore Balomo, or Sal Balomo, Super Destroyer number 1, and manager Stevie Wonderful versus the Suicide Blondes and Hunter Q. Robbins the third. Now, the question about the Suicide Blondes. One is Johnny Hotbody. The other, now according to website the ProWrestlingHistory.com, who are covering all the major promotion results, it says Chris Michaels, but the announcers kept saying Sir Richard Michaels, so I'm not sure about his name, but they kept saying Richard Michaels. Now, you really don't have to even watch this match. I'm not saying never watch an ECW match. No, that's not what I'm saying. This particular match, I'm not even saying not to watch this particular match. I know it's confusing how I'm saying this. The commentators. We have a debut here. Jay Sully, who started with all the other who worked with, he commentated most of all the matches of the show tonight, is joined by none other than Joey Styles. Yes, Mr. Joey Styles, who in the future, not long after this, will coin his infamous catchphrase, "Oh my God." And yes, for me and for you, the fans, you have got to watch this show, Super Summer Sizzler, the debut Joey Styles. But this is not the Joey Styles we know, that we would come to know, the Mr. Oh my God, and every shocking and move that all ECW wrestlers do. He is a heel announcer. My mouth hit the floor in total shock at what I was hearing him say. You know, you would think of Jesse Ventura. This is the ECW version of Jesse Ventura. I cannot believe what I was hearing Joey Styles say. Let alone heel and defend the heels. He being a heel announcer and supporting the heels, the bad guys. No, it's much more than that, what Joey Styles was saying. You could listen to the audio of this match and not even watch the match. Listen to Joey Styles is shocking. First of all, he attacks the Philadelphia fans, calling them inbreds and the type you would see on a telethon. He says, "I'm surprised there's not a phone number, a ticker number across the bottom of the screen, how to call in for a telethon." Jay Sully kept referring to him as Mr. Styles. Then Jay Sully says he is from reporting. He has a reporting job. He is commentating as a reporting job from Pro Wrestling Illustrated. What is going on here? It is flooring and shocking, flabbergasting that you would hear Joey Styles debut as a heel announcer. It blows your mind. It's flabbergasting, shocking. I have to say it. Oh my God! you can listen to Joey Styles as a heel announcer. Oh my God! It's shocking to hear him talk like this. You'd have to purchase the original VHS tape, now the WWE Network, and now for the first time on the show, it's worth the debut Joey Styles as a heel announcer. This match, it's a so-so 6-man tag. I hate to put down this match. I'm not putting this match down. It's alone to listen to a heel Joey Styles, a Joey Styles you've never heard before. A oh my God Joey Styles. I'm gonna the match end. I mean, it was a fairly so good 6-man tag, but it comes down to Salvatore Balomo. He ricochets back and forth between the ropes. And he does a big body splash on Sir Richard Michaels and ends the 6-man tag. It just watch the match, close your eyes, and listen to a heel Joey Styles. you don't know what to say, but oh my god. The main event match in the ECW Summer Show is a Texas Chain Massacre between Terry Funk and Eddie Gilbert with Paul Dangerously. It's described as a chain match with they were both strapped to their wrists. However, it is also described as they have to touch all four corners. That would be Indian strap match rules. So I think they went by a combination of old NWA or old JCP, a combination of rules where Indian strap match and Russian chain. But this is called a Texas chain match because Terry Funk being from Texas. Here's where it gets even more stranger. I'm not sure if it was Eddie Gilbert that brought the King Crown that you would usually see Jerry Lawler hold. The winner of the match will be labeled the King of Philadelphia. Then why is it called a Texas Chain Massacre? Okay, it'd be a chain match or Philadelphia chain match. But and Eddie Gilbert, is he from Memphis? With looking at it, I did not look up where Eddie Gilbert's from. So why is it okay? This is in Philadelphia, yes. Why is it the crown is on the line? Like King of Philadelphia is on the line, but it's called the Texas Chain Massacre. Okay, but it really is kind of disappointing seeing it was a thing about touching all four corners, which is Indian strap rules. Now, other thing that was very, very interesting was now for this whole show, Jay Sully did a pretty good job as commentating. He had 3 different co-announcers. First, Paul Dangerously, then Joey Styles. Now, for the first time ever in a rarity, ECW founder Todd Gordon. He was pretty good. And I don't think the WWF ever did something like that. 3 different commentators with a main commentator. And Todd Gordon, you never hear him. You usually hear him as he was commissioner. He is dealing with the match itself. As commentator, I don't think he's ever done it before. He's talked on the ECW Hardcore TV, talking about the matches, talking about a show. Okay, but never. I don't think I've ever seen him in co-commentating, partner commentating. I've never seen him do it before or heard it before. The match itself, yeah, it was being it's an early ECW hard. I don't think anything ECW started with ever since its debut in 1992 all throughout the years. Everything was Extreme before they were changed the name of it to Extreme in 1994. It was a chain whipping match for a while. At times even Todd Gordon was yelling, "Yeah, whip him like a dog." I was copying David Crockett. I think I'm not sure who he was with. Dusty Rhodes attacking Tully Blanchard. I'm not sure what David Crockett was referring to, but he would yell, "Yeah, whip him like a dog." That's what Todd Gordon was copying. It was pretty good commentary, but it was a lot of chain whipping and then wrapping their chains around their fist. And Terry Funk was dragging Eddie Gilbert. I mean, firstly at times it was a delayed opening in a sense where Terry Funk had to get Eddie Gilbert, drag him into the ring. That's the only thing that was missing in this match is where the chain, or if they used to be the old NWA days where they were tied to the wrists in whatever kind of a chain or strap or whatever. They were pulled into the ring if they're going to run away. They didn't do that in this match. Eddie Gilbert took time getting in the rings, and they did so. Neither of them try to pull each other into the ring. That was missing, and I thought it would have been cool to do that. But at times, Terry Funk was dragging Eddie Gilbert away from the ring and whipping him over and over with a chain, punching him. Terry Funk, unusually, he was the first one to bleed in this match. Now, because of the Indian strap rules, once they got into the ring, and then it was eventually, I think Terry Funk, I think he had the most chances trying to go. They were really, in a sense, running around to each. He'd go one, touch each turnbuckle, one, then two, then three, and a long delay to if they could touch number 4 to end the match. No, it's one thing that Terry Funk kept doing it. Each of them, I think Terry Funk did more to touch each turnbuckle. He did it quickly, go 1, then 2, then 3, and delay to 4. He kept doing it a couple of times. I think Eddie Gilbert maybe done once or twice. And Terry Funk is they were actually choking each other, and it looks so. Oh my God, was that realistic? I mean, even Terry Funk, I know. There were times that he was choking Eddie Gilbert. He had Eddie Gilbert on his back. Terry Funk had Eddie Gilbert on his back and choking him by the throat. Terry Funk kept doing it a lot. I mean, I think they kept doing it to each other, choking around the throat, and the whipping, the fist punching, a lot of that going on. And Eddie Gilbert, he began bleeding. It was a pretty good chain match, but I think it would have been a much better chain match without the Indian strap rules going to each corner. Now the referee, Joe Finnegan, he got kind of clobbered. I think it was Eddie Gilbert. As I don't remember, he got clobbered on the back of the head, in the corner. So, and then one or two referees came up to one of the referee escorted him to the back because he was hurt. Then came a young referee, and Todd Gordon said they just recently hired this guy. I only heard the name Kevin, and the thing was. That Terry Funk scored all four turnbuckles, but Paulie dangerously got up on the ring apron, and the referee Kevin was distracted by Paul dangerously, and referee did not see Terry Funk touch the 4th corner. So by winning that King of Philadelphia crown, no. And Terry Funk had his arm raised, and then Kevin said, "No, you didn't." And so I only saw you only touched 3 turnbuckles. Well, then Eddie Gilbert, as this referee Kevin had, Terry Funk and his referee Kevin are arguing that did Terry Funk touch off all the turnbuckles, but Terry Funk's arguing, I got all 4. Then Eddie Gilbert takes a chair, hits Terry Funk from the back, but then he does a pile driver on Terry Funk. Then he takes the chain and quickly grabs all 4 corners. The referee calls that Eddie Gilbert has won, and he gives him the crown, and awards as Eddie Gilbert is the king of Philadelphia. Todd Gordon, I didn't even hear him leave the commentating table. He rushes into the ring, argues that Terry Funk touched all 4 corners. Paul dangerously then says something that I didn't entirely understand. It's something that is he part of the Dangerous Alliance? Something that Paul dangerously had a connection with this referee Kevin. And because I didn't get the audio entirely clear, but Paul dangerously had something to do with the referee. Todd Gordon rushed in and said that Terry Funk, he touched all 4 corners. He tells Kevin, because Paul has a connection with his referee, that's bias. Todd Gordon said, tells the referee Kevin, the newly hired referee Kevin, you're fired. Then Paulie dangerously takes his phone and clobbers Todd Gordon from the back. Terry Funk takes care of everybody else. But then Eddie Gilbert and Paulie dangerously, Eddie Gilbert, referee Kevin, and Paul leave the ring. Terry Funk's picking up Todd Gordon, but Terry Funk's picking up Terry Funk then picks up the crown, holds the crown up, says, "No, I'm the real winner. I touched all 4 corners." It was a controversial ending, but it was an interesting ending, But what can I say? It was a great it was a great show. The Super Summer Sizzler in their first major show of 1993, June 19th at the ECW Arena. If you like this video, please subscribe, comment, like or dislike, and thank you for watching.